advantage of it. They were just crouching under the bridge, being a munchkin pretty much, and just shooting people out of the water as they were starting to coming up.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, it was really really interesting to see. Another kind of note that I have from Game 1 was Team Japan getting caught in vehicles multiple times out in fields, just trying to drive peacefully, I might add, from one location to the next, and they got shot at by Cloud9. They got blown up there at the end. You know, everything seemed like it was pretty chaotic enough, and then Team Japan comes driving through and then just ultimately got destroyed.
Yeah, risky plays. I think it was the Terror team also did that as well.
Same thing, but they were able to sneak across the bridge.
They were, and then Hyro was trying to do that too. So a lot of teams just taking riskier plays. Are they going to learn from that, or are they just going to go ahead and, you know what, maybe that was just bad luck there on that one. Let's just go ahead and continue.
I think luck had a lot to do with it. Yeah. That zone really kind of forced. I mean, you saw how many people were left alive. That was one thing. You got to give credit to all these teams.
He doesn't commit it quite yet. Holds on to it. ASD looking for an X attempt. Doesn't find it, but look at TNC. They're ready to reinitiate, and Erangel goes in.
That ridge next to where the river is can be very difficult against that tower in itself, right?
It can. It's got some great cover there. You can kind of move horizontally back and forth. But the tower being the prime position, but the tower also, you know exactly where they're going to be. So you know where to put your crosshair, and as soon as they peek, that's the end of it.
Yeah, and if you get caught in the water, it's pretty much over for you. As we saw pretty much for Seagod there, an outsider trying to get away. But ultimately, they just got killed.
And obviously we saw whilst these teams were thinking about their strategies, they were able to kind of plan out some of their rotations, even with the little stylus of the Samsung Galaxy Note 9, to try and figure out exactly where they want to go. Obviously, they don't know exactly where the playing path is going to be just yet for this game, but overall, you can get a good grasp, especially if you want to drop towards the center of the map, to know where you want to go eventually. People have their usual path.
Certainly. I want to see, as Seven mentioned, if the teams start to gravitate towards their natural landing spots. I feel like strategy played a big part in this first game. Teams didn't want to reveal what they're normally comfortable with. They all said that they did some studying, and they altered kind of where they started out.
Well, gentlemen, we are ready. It's going to be game number 2 here of our tournament as a whole to figure out who's going to be able to rack up the points and who is going to be able to catch up with Evos and Doyu to get things going. 7 PB, take it away.
Let's do this, baby. Game number 2. Who's going to go ahead and win it? Let us know. You currently watching at home, whether you're watching on Twitch or on YouTube, comment below right now who you got. And oh my God, that plane, I cannot get over
in this first game.
It's so awesome.
Don't look up. You'll get it cut by a propeller. That thing is unbelievably cool. Flying through the arena here, dropping in the Samsung Galaxy Note 9, displaying round 2 of the PUBG Mobile Star Challenge Global Finals.
Let's see what this playing path is going to be, because we saw it earlier. It definitely determines a lot of stuff.
Hey,
and as we
it's
were
the same path, but flipped a little bit. We're going to go diagonally through the map again from the north this time, flying on down south through the military base, which does put Noye in range, but pretty much everything in range here on this playing path. This is a great path.
And something I noticed right away, Gangstars drops, and they're going to their natural habitat. George Pool.
Yeah, you kind of saw this one coming. They're going to head to North George and start looting up per usual. Let's see if a lot of these teams kind of get back to their roots here. And, you know, we saw some of the teams that prefer Pochinki did not drop their last game, even though the playing path did allow it. We'll see if they do that again this game.
A lot of teams just starting to spread out. Actually, I'm loving this playing path here, because it's going to allow teams to just pretty much go to where they usually want to go, right? They don't have to just jump into a car and try to go that way. And look at this, BRK, once again, dropping Atlantis, Watertown,
or
Venice, whatever you want to call it. They're going there once again. It seems to work out there in the first match, so why not? Let's go ahead and do it again.
They're going to drop into a place with buildings and water. We'll call it that, buildings and water. Looting up, though, but they have company. Did you see that? They got another squad there looting up just on the outside, and it is Terror once again from India. These are the same guys last time that peeled off. Maybe this time, you know, maybe they won't.
And look at Terror here, already with the NAM4. They got some guns. I saw somebody there from BRK pretty much just trying to run away because he didn't have a gun just yet. And once again, just to remind you, the top 10 scores, GT Doyu with 605 points, Evo's Burnout with 590, and LH Doyu.
Look at that. LH Doyu in its 3rd place right now, and they did not finish anywhere near the top 3. Remember, Gangstars put them out much earlier. I believe they finished 7th or 8th overall in the standings. But with the 16, or was it 18? It was either 16 or 18 kills. Man, they rocketed up those rankings.
An interesting place here by the Terror team from India, as they are now starting to run away there from BRK. Now, the only problem with this is that they're going to be super exposed. If for some reason any team passes by, they're going to be easy pickings.
I'm interested to see how these guys continue to play. It's kind of an interesting tactic, establishing yourself in an obscure location and then immediately giving up ground, even though you have the assault rifles and weapons already on your person. Not quite sure of that decision. They've been very passive so far in this tournament. We've got Cloud9 and Evos again squaring off, and yes, Naya.
Again, I wonder if they're going to go ahead and knock each other down one more time and realize, hey, you know what? We're going to keep on dropping here. What are we going to do here? Are we going to try to take each other off at the beginning of the match, or we're just going to pretty much keep doing the same thing? Knock one down and then back up and just run away.
One thing I see developing with Evos and Cloud9 there, Cloud9 very separate from each other. These guys are all looting up solos, so if Evos does catch one of them, it's going to be curtains for him, unless they can pull off some sort of miracle rotation to pick up their teammates.
And LHW actually having Novo all to themselves. My gosh, that's going to be a huge advantage there, because we saw them place really good in the last round, and if they're able to go ahead and get that loot, on top of that, just being able not to have to worry fighting anybody on Novo, that's crazy.
They've gone there twice now, kind of staking their claim. Novo is ours, and with those gun skills and with that performance in the first round, let's see if Cloud9 actually challenges that a little bit later on. I have a feeling they may steer clear and continue to loot up Yaz, as it's got a little bit more escape route, a little bit more versatility. And as you can see, the zone this game, very central, very friendly to pretty much everyone, everywhere on the map.
Yeah, and actually, Team Japan, very spread out. They're not even close to each other. I think they were maybe trying to get some cars and loot up, but interesting plays there by them, as they do have GTW fairly close in school. One of the people's favorite drops sometimes.
We've got a split drop right now, looks like, from GTW. They're heading school, Roz. I mean, they're trying to group up, but it looks like Team Japan over at the apartments right now staking their claim. Six God's going to have to get out of Dodge and head over to meet up with his team as he sees the folks over at the apartments.
And just to remind you at home, this is day one, round number 2. We will be doing this tomorrow and the day after tomorrow until December 1st. So make sure you go ahead and tune in at the exact same time. In BTR taking I wasn't able to see that the name there, but just pretty much looting up as much as it can with the DP28 as well. Level 1 helmet. That's something that we're kind of been seeing in play here. If you have a level 1 helmet, you might not want to go ahead and take a fight, because everybody is just so accurate.
What if you have a level 1 helmet with spikes on it like that guy?
I might take it. I'm sold.
Yeah, maybe Kato has here the level 1 helmet with spikes on it as well. Looking pretty solid here, but again, sweet backpack, really cool gear, man. All these guys are looking fly. Carnage has got that sweet white backpack on, and these guys are, look at him, he's just scouting. He's just looking around. He's trying to find those Evos guys.
It is. They're using that third-person perspective to their advantage. Once again, day number 1 is third person, day number 2 is first person, and day number 3 is going to go ahead and be third person once again. So you're going to be seeing a lot of people, if it's third person, you're going to be seeing a lot of people just put up their faces straight to the wall just so they can go ahead and look around the corner.
What's that guy doing there? Just staring at the wall.
And also, you're going to see a lot of snakes, it seems, in third person. If for some reason you don't know what snakes are, is when people just lay down on the ground. So do me a favor, if you're watching at home, spam some snakes in the chat, please, as Evos is still just looting up all these apartments. And my goodness, they already have an M4, they already got pens, they already got the whole 9, it seems.
Yeah, they're looking pretty solid right now. Evos, again, really, really solid crew. And they are, man, really great stuff. I mean, finishing first overall in the first game. CPT, interesting stuff here. Driving around outside of Pachinki, grabbing a spot on the hill here.
Trying to find the ocean to go surfing.
Buildings. Interesting.
Yeah, definitely trying to find the ocean to go surfing there. And he doesn't currently, there you go, he does have one gun behind him, but he's trying to find more stuff. And that man has a level 2. Oh my gosh, look at this right here. That zone, actually not bad at all.
It's smack dab in the center. Even the teams that are out of it right now, Hero down in Primorsk, we got, looks like the Arabs up in the top left. They're, all good to go.
And LHW really and Novo, they're currently just barely outside the zone, but their loot is going to be just off the chain. And look at them. They're just pretty much switching ammo or level whatever it is back and forth. Whatever you're more comfortable with, right? That's what it comes down to with these teams. If maybe a player doesn't like using the 4-time and one of their teammates does, then they're just going to go ahead and exchange that so they will be more comfortable and just feel that's something that actually comes that I notice a lot of players prefer to do. Pick up something that you are comfortable with, even if it's not as powerful.
Correct. I think that that's something that, I get asked a lot of times, why do you prefer this weapon over that weapon? And it's just like, well, I do better with it. It's a very simple answer. It doesn't necessarily mean that statistically it's better or it puts out more damage per bullet. But, a lot of times if you're good with a weapon, you stick with it.
Yep. Ooh, and look at this drop right here for Wildcard. Wildcard just on crates. That man C got already with the ghillie suit. That's going to come in huge, especially towards the end of the match if it's for some reason out in the open. And here we've got... They're actually getting shot at.
Big Russian bot getting shot at here.
They're getting shot at, and they're just waving around, trying to juke them. They were able to actually get not even damage. They're going to be able to just loot up here and stand their ground.
They're going to hole up here. It looks like closing the doors, kind of getting ready to fight potentially. I don't know if they're going to get chased out from Pachinki. I believe it was one of the Chinese teams, CPT, up on the hill that was firing shots at them as they drove by. Big Russian bot. There you see CPT on the hill. But we've got Big Russian bot, second place finishers in Europe. And they've got a lot to prove here this particular match.
Yeah, something that I would like to go ahead and point out is that there's not that much action here at the beginning. Before, in the previous game, there was already some teams already out. Right now, everybody seems to be playing it safe now that game number 1 has passed. And look at this, the Terror team from India being able to go ahead and just work their way all the way a little bit towards, I believe that's a little bit towards Pachinki. Yeah,
this is the east side of Pachinki here, and it's looking pretty, or excuse me, west side.
That's a nifty spot there on top of the couch through that little window. Yeah, something that I would like to go ahead and point out is that there's not that much action here at the beginning. Before, in the previous game, there was already some teams already out. Right now, everybody seems to be playing it safe.
M4 and like a 6x scope, just absolute laser beams for aim.
Playing it
and then
safe.
Here
now that game number 1 has passed, and look at this.
That they're there if they know what they're getting into here.
The Terror team from India being able to go ahead and just...
And Sakrias just waiting.
Yeah, RRQ definitely playing it safe there. They might have been able to hear him, or they might have been able to hear something because RRQ D2E is just waiting patiently. Oh, yeah, they know. Senior is calling them out with that Mini 14, baby. He's just waiting for somebody to go in and peek, and all of them are in the exact same building. That could actually, oh my gosh, look at this right here. GTW getting some shots there on BTR. There you go. First blood of game number 2.
Great position there, BTR. Unfortunately, going to have to leave Zuxi behind. As Zuxi goes down, one of the brothers eliminated here early.
In GT, though, you just pretty much finishing up that man. They already got a lot of kills in the previous match. More than likely, they want to go ahead and continue that trend through every single match with already 1 kill and looting him up. Once again, the Scar.
RRQ, Athena, and Terror have kicked off as well. Terror, the nod goes down, and look at that grenade torpedo taking him down all the way in the warehouse. What a shot.
He say, hold up a bit. Kaiseho, I see that you're there. Back up.
This is an opportune time for another grenade. You know where they're knocked. You know he hasn't crossed. The smoke's out. This is where you start lobbing in more grenades if you got them. You might be able to catch a second player down, and at that point, you have an opportunity to push.
And something that I think RRQ is going to go ahead and do here is more than likely they might not even engage here.
There it is. A little bit too late, though.
It might hurt the confidence there. Usually that's what happens. When you see a team starting to rush and somebody gets knocked, they think about it twice. They say, I don't know. Maybe not right now.
If he had followed up with that grenade just a little bit sooner, that would have been real trouble there for RRQ.
Definitely. They do have the car in the back, so they could pretty much move out at any moment here. And they do have the bombing zone very close by. It seems like they're still going to go ahead and engage. They are throwing smokes all over the place just to throw Team Terror from India a little bit off.
They drive the vehicle inside, trying to keep people out of harm's way from the red zone. Kind of a standoff here, and there it is. Look at that VSS. Woo! Getting the knock there on D2E. D2E goes down. Amit is, well, he's got 1 HP.
Yeah, he needs to go ahead and bandage up. He probably noticed that one of his shoulders was sticking out, so he's like, you know what, let me go ahead and just move a little bit there to the left.
That VSS from mid-range is just absolutely lethal as well. You're dead before you know that you're getting shot.
Yeah, VSS actually... We saw it a lot there towards the end with Gainstar's Bilbo, which is currently not here, but he was one of the players that was using it a lot, and then Angry from Gainstar started using it as well, the VSS in the NA Finals. More than likely, we'll go ahead and continue seeing it here as first time we actually see it on this tournament so far. Keep in mind, it is game number 2 in day 1.
Terrifying weapon indeed. We turn our attention to other parts of the map for a brief moment before we come back here to RRQ Athena in the warehouse.
Ooh, somebody knocked out there through an explosion.
That's one of the CPT guys getting hit our attention, maybe the red zone.
Yep, and Wildcard now in that car trying to get out of
the
here.
map for South George Crazy is their preferred drop spot, so they did go after it. They did.
Somebody got knocked out there through an explosion.
That's one of the looking like a successful CPT guy.
And that zone still pretty much staying there towards the middle. So whoever landed Pachinki, Team Terror is currently on a great spot. They don't really have to push anything unless RRQ decides to go ahead and push them. That's the only time they're going to go ahead and see engagement. And talking about it, Amit once again knocks down somebody with that VSS.
Great shots from Amit over from Team Terror. Nice job to him. We've also got Team Big Russian Bot and BTR getting ready to square off here. Again, Luxy and company down to Zuxi. They have missing one of their players. He got knocked out of the buggy on the top of that mountain by GT Doyu. And here we go. We're gonna stare at each other from the compound. Close in. One thing I saw on the map as we kind of saw that picture just a moment ago was Evos had already left Yasnaya and left Cloud9 behind. Cloud9's currently rotating in, but Evos had left way before them and established position early, so that's one tactic we need to keep an eye on moving forward.
Something you definitely see a lot there from the teams, and I see Full Send Fandy going down there. But right now, we're focusing on RRQ and the Terror team. As they're going to go ahead and see their car, more than likely, they're going to go ahead and just try to blow out the tires, or if not, blow out the car. Interesting plays there by the Terror as they decided not to go ahead and engage. And look at this, RRQ playing super smart, getting a lot of different angles as G9 has now go ahead and move a little bit more towards Pachinki. But somebody from RRQ does get taken out there with the DP28. And that angle is going to be amazing if he's able to go ahead and get this knock.
And here we go, C9 rolling up on the scene with BRT. They receive a lot of shots, and they decide to keep on moving.
They're just driving by, trying to see what they can hear. Ooh, okay, all right, getting fancy there. Calm down.
Yeah, Kodo, that's not going to land more often than not, just a friendly tip. We also have Illuminate getting a knock there on CPT.
A lot of shots, Cloud9 just trying to figure out